let's inject myself with a vaccine against hepatitis A and B into the muscle. Come on, skin. Don't be so tough. Yes, it's entering the muscle slowly. Let's get it done. Hepatitis A and B vaccines are very important. You can get infected from the hepatitis A, B and C just by eating food that is infected, or from exchanging saliva, or other liquids with people who are infected. That's it, that fast. You need 3 doses or 4 doses for 99% immunity. Vaccination and adult vaccination and revaccination is very important. The vaccine is one of the most expensive liquids at the moment. It's a 5 milliliter one. 5 milliliter or 0.5. Half a milliliter, they cost me 46 euros. There are some that cost 200 euros. In the year 2018, before the mega inflation or hyperinflation, if it occurs in the future, so only the future people will know. So this is the twin Rix one, the hepatitis A and B. A inactive and the B one is the DNA protein of the DNA one. Okay, has to be in the fridge, so that's why the distribution of vaccines in the world is not so good, because the places without fridges cannot get the vaccines, which is an issue at the moment. So whoever can figure out the vaccination of children and revaccination of adults every 20 years can help the world a lot. These are the basic things like the iodine solution, 10% iodine solution for the disinfection of the spot before the injection. There's a cross on the top of the muscle. That was inside of the package. It was preloaded with the liquid and the syringe with the needle. I bought another one for 10 cents in case the one breaks or in case it gets blocked by the skin. Sometimes it blocks. It was fairly easy to inject once you place it correctly and from the top, inject it from the top. Hepatitis A can be transmitted through food. Hepatitis A, B and C can be transmitted through food, and they're all interrelated. So if you have an immunity vaccine from the vaccine, then you can have also some immunity against the others, which is a good thing. Adult revaccination is a very overlooked topic. You go to the gym, you go to the sports center, you pay like 60, 50, 80, if there is a sound one, you pay 80 per month to get healthy, to get fit, but you never revaccinate as an adult. Many adults don't have the varicella vaccine, many don't have the hepatitis B vaccine, many don't have the what is called the encephalitis one, the HPV one, the lung cancer one is at the moment only in Cuba, but maybe they will help the world and distribute it in other countries. The Chinese one have some vaccines that are not available in other places. New vaccines come out every time, so in case you got vaccinated as a child, it doesn't mean you have to stop vaccinating. Vaccination is very important if you want to be healthy and to be clear in the mind, because the type of infections that infect the nerves, they make the mind cloudy, they make the muscle stiff, the nerve stiff. Just like that, you get 3 injections, 4 injections for the 99% immunity. And these 4 injections, they basically reduce the cost of healthcare for yourself and the time that you want to spend during the sick and the time they need to work to buy the medicine. Some people, let's say they have pimples or rash on the skin. They buy creams for 80. Or they go to the doctor, they pay the doctor 40, they buy cream for 30, they buy another one, they continue for, 1 year, 2 years, and it turns out it's just a varicella pimples they try to treat. It would be much cheaper to get the varicella vaccine instead of treating a fake symptom. And many doctors say it's just the inflamed follicle, the hair. They don't give you a clue that it's the infection of the nerves. They just say, oh, you got pimples. So many doctors also don't have a clue about the infections that people have. And also the doctors, they have just 15 minutes per patient. What do you want to get from them in 15 minutes? Consider adult revaccination for yourself, people around you and people you like. Vaccination is not just for children. Get as many vaccines as you can to reduce the healthcare cost and increase the quality of life. And I hope the GlaxoSmith. Thank you to GlaxoSmithKline, another company, GlaxoSmithKline. Thank you for them to creating the vaccine, but I hope they reduce the price. Make it at 20, please. Make it at 20 or 30, so that even adult people don't consider the cost too high. Like for example, there is the meningitis B shortage in Europe at the moment. In the year 2017 and 2018 there is a shortage, so they jacked up the price to 120, 60, so there's like a shortage and people cannot get it to vaccinate their children because there is a wave, or like there was a wave of meningitis infections, and some kids unfortunately they passed away. And there is a meningitis B wave in Africa, and the Africans get the vaccine for like $2, and the Europeans, they have to pay 120. It's corruption, clearly, but then again, who else is producing vaccines that are high quality? At least they're available, even if you have to pay a lot. It's also much cheaper than treating the symptoms or the illness. Much cheaper than paying the insurance. When your insurance doesn't pay for vaccination, it means it's a fake insurance. It's an insurance that is not legitimate because it's generating the cost for itself in the future. I think the insurances should press the manufacturers of vaccines and lower the price to 20 per dose, and then revaccinate all adults against all the possible things, and just remove all the illness that is possible in life that is associated to infections with hepatitis, with varicella, with zoster, with HPV, with influenza. They already do. That one they got smart. So when the price of the vaccines decreases, then the people will also vaccinate more. I think the European Union and the American Association of the Medicine, whatever they have over there, they should look into it. Like the Indians, they lowered the cost of vaccination by having a domestic production. But also many Indian people are not vaccinated, just the privileged one that go to the hospital. The Japanese are very well vaccinated. But then you look at the rest of the world, like the hepatitis A and B and C, it's very dominant in Latin America because it's transmitted through food, through saliva, through kisses that they give to each other when they meet. Through the family, there's like 200 million people suffer from hepatitis C and B or in Latin America. And imagine what's going on in Africa, where there are no fridges to put the vaccines into and to distribute them. It's like a little bit sad state of the world. It's just this little 0.5 milliliter doses 3 times can save you a lifetime trouble of treating your liver against the parasite of hepatitis. I hope that in the future there will be vaccines that are administered by a pill, by some kind of other thing, not an injection, or by a patch that you apply to the skin that injects through the skin, but it has to be intramuscular. Maybe there will be some needles that are better than this one. This one is, let's see what it is, 0.5 millimeters, half a millimeter, which is quite nice if you inject from the top, and if the skin is kind of wet from the antiseptic, if it's wet and flexible, it goes in very well. In case you get it in between the muscle fibers, it goes in very well. So you have to also massage the muscles a little bit before. So I injected 2 of them into 2 legs today. This is my 3rd dose of this vaccine. I'm just revaccinating. So it goes like that. If you wanna vaccinate yourself, you twitch the muscle a little bit, and then if you have somebody to help or nobody, you just apply pressure like that, inject the needle, and start injecting. And when you start injecting, just release the pressure. It will distribute the liquid. So kind of first you just remove the liquids from the muscle, and then when you start injecting, at that moment, start slowly to releasing the pressure. It feels very refreshing, relaxing. If an experienced person does it. I did with a nurse in India. She was very professional. She did 20 vaccinations per day. So she kind of got the skills, and then when she does it, it's like a massage. If you don't feel anything. And she also knows which muscle to inject to. Fairly easy. Adult revaccination is a good thing. It prevents you from getting sick in the future. They say it's valid for 20 years. In the 20 years, new vaccines will come out. So in case, it's a topic that you have to think about. Think about all the health things that people do. They go to the sauna, they go to the spa, they buy all kinds of healthy food, organic, vegan, vegetarian. They go into health treatments, and then ask you, are you vaccinated against varicella, HPV? Are you vaccinated against hepatitis, encephalitis? If they say no, what's the point of having all these treatments if you are not even vaccinated? Some people, they go into hiking into the woods and they are not vaccinated against encephalitis. Even rich people, ultra rich people, what was the guy? Tim Ferriss, that guy. He went into the woods and he contracted Lyme disease or encephalitis from the ticks. Imagine if he was vaccinated, but even a smart guy like that wasn't vaccinated. Well, I'm not sure what attacked him, but I think it was a tick or something. Small tick with the encephalitis or Lyme disease, which is a preventable disease if you are vaccinated. So even the smartest people, the richest people, don't get vaccinations, which is like a sad state of mind. This topic is not promoted well enough. You don't hear about it. You only hear about the people who say, "Oh, I don't want to vaccinate my children because there is a side effect of the fever." What they say, they say they get autistic. Maybe possible if you feed your kids sugar and bread all the time and then you vaccinate them and they get the hyperreaction and then their mind blocks and gets autistic because you feed it also milk. Maybe their children eat milk and yogurt all day long and then they get sticky proteins in the brain and sugar inflammation on top of that, and then they blame the vaccine or maybe they eat pizza all day long, who knows. The vaccine itself, it produces the fever on a reaction and a nerve reaction. The polio one, the 6 vaccines in one, that's a tough one, even for adults. I'm gonna redo it just for fun. It gets you dizzy for 3 hours and fever for like 24 hours. It's a fun one for the weekend. You need to have a lot of water, because there is a real fever, like a real high fever. So you have to be prepared for the one that is the polio one and the 6-in-1 vaccine. That one is tough. And it should say like in red on the package, like book a weekend free for your kid to treat the fever. It didn't say anything of that. It's a missed opportunity on the part of the vaccine manufacturers. So it has to say 1 day of fever, and you need to feed your kid, you need to give it water, or if you are an adult, vaccinating with the 6 hexavalent one, with the 6-in-1 vaccine. Hepatitis B, A and B, this is a twin risk, it's a combination of hepatitis A and B one. This one is easy. It's my 3rd dose, it's fairly no issues, just a tingle, and after the liquid is distributed into the muscle, the sensation is like of a relief or some kind of a refreshing. It's not as tough as the polio one. All the vaccines that are preventing the diseases that live in the nerves, like the influenza ones, they are very tricky. They like little bubbles, little balls, they live in the nerves and feed on the nerves, on the tissue, and then live inside of you for all of your life, and create you symptoms like irritations, stiffness of the muscles, of the nerves. Let's just say, if you get a stiff neck and then you say, I slept on the pillow and then I slept on the wrong side, I don't know what I did, I didn't eat well. Most likely you got the active nerve infection, which at this day reproduced. So they created more viruses and they just ate your nerves, and you feel stiff on the neck without a reason. It doesn't mean you slept on the wrong side of the pillow. It just means your nerve is inflamed or infected with the influenza that ate your nerve. It will regenerate, but the effects will reoccur and reoccur and reoccur until you vaccinate. Also, some people overeat on sugar and then they get stiff muscles and stiff nerves from the constant inflammation. Also possible. But many times if you get like the influenza and the grippe, how it's called, the flu. If you get the flu, then you get a stiff neck, you get the stiff throat. That's the feeling when your nerves are eaten by the virus. So you get this stiffness and you cannot control your muscle that well. The tissue itself might be relaxed, but the stiffness comes from the fact that the nerve is not working, or that is blocked by the limbic fluid, and that the limbocytes, the white particles of the blood, the white cells of the blood, that they try to clear up and then attack the virus, so they kind of block the nerves. In this case, mild stretching, hot sauna, hot and cold contrast, like hot sauna, cold shower, some little bit of stretching with yoga, walking or sport. It helps to speed up the healing process, because the fluid that blocks the nerves, it moves away from the nerves, and then it allows the nutrients and the oxygen to move in, so you can speed up the recovery process. Or you can avoid everything. You can avoid weeks, months and years of sickness just by vaccinating. At the moment in the Western world, or in the world where the salaries are high, Doesn't mean it's the West. It can be in Asia, in Africa, it can be in anywhere. So the manufacturers put up the high prices for the vaccine, and in total, I think it might be around 1,000, 2,000 to get all of the vaccines for the adult revaccination, even if the insurance doesn't pay. It's a very small price in comparison to the thousands and months and years of sickness. Just if you book a relaxing vacations for 1,000 euros in the year 2018, I'm not sure what the price will be in the future in 50 years. Maybe it will be 100,000 if the mega inflation hits. Or so, with the price of an extended luxury vacation in a remote, Australia, between Europe and Australia, something like that. If you pay 2K for that, or you just get all of the vaccines, all the doses, and don't be sick anymore. It's a good investment, which even the richest people don't make because they don't know about this, or maybe nobody informs them. People just sell them treatments and health pass, but none of their doctors sell them vaccines. And look, even if the smartest people in the world overlook this, like Bill Gates, he's smart. He's very smart. So he got the vaccines and he's pushing the vaccines for other people also, like on the cheap, with domestic production of vaccines in Africa, and then produce them in India, fly them over to Africa, and get a round of vaccination for everybody in the remote. They kind of schedule it. So it's all scheduled by when the vaccine arrives, when the truck goes to the village, when they inject to the people, to the kids and adults, or they also do the oral ones. The smartest people on the world vaccinate, and they vaccinate others. And then there are also what is called the fadsters and the people who spread misinformation. They say, oh no, vaccines, they generate illness. It's a program for sterilization. That's the people, when somebody tells something like that, that person is like a not legitimate. Whatever this person tells, is just do the opposite exactly. It's the best person to ask, what should I do in this case? And then you listen to what this person says, and then do the exact opposite. You will be very successful. It's like the rule of life. And the people who spread the misinformation about the vaccines that it generates autism, that the children get fever. Yes, they get fever from just this one, the 6-in-1 vaccines. They get fever from it. It's like the natural body reaction, which means the vaccine works. In that day, you have to care for your kid. You have to care for yourself. I think the whole issue is that the vaccine manufacturers or the medics, they don't inform the patients well, or the package doesn't inform them well, or they should be say on the syringe, prepare for fever or something like that. Will cause fever, 1 day, 24-hour fever, something like that, like on the tobacco packages. And then when the parents see the kid has fever, it's the vaccine, it's a bad thing. No, it's just because they were not informed in advance. The good doctors the more helpful doctors, they tell you straight away, you get the vaccine and your kid will have fever for a day. It's a normal situation for this vaccine. Just some of them they generate the fever, the others don't. So these misinformed people, or who were not informed, they blame the vaccine for the later illnesses of the child. They never look into the diet. The kid is just drinking liters of milk, like 2 liters of milk a day, or eating half a kg of yogurt per day. Eating bread, yogurt and pasta and nothing else, and then it gets autism. In many cases the autism is diet related, because the person is lactose intolerant, or it gets this what's called the casein protein. It gets them into the veins. They block the veins. They block the normal function of the brain. Stick to the gut, inflame the gut. Kids get constant inflammation, cannot function well. Oh yeah, it's the vaccine, but it's never the diet, because the people, they don't want to blame themselves, they want to blame something else, something external. They will never say, oh, it's the food that I feed to the kid. They want to take the blame away and put it onto someone else. And imagine the world before the vaccines. You get the flu, straight to the bucket, into the ground. You get fever for 2 weeks, into the ground you go. Like there was this Russian emperor who was called Peter the Great. He went into the water to rescue some sailors who were sinking in the winter, and then he got like a cold muscle and infected with the flu. He went into the ground, and he was the most powerful man in that area, one of the most powerful people in the world at that time. Didn't have a vaccination, went into the ground at the age of 30 something. Imagine that. You live in the time when you can, for 1,000 or 2,000 US dollar or euros, you can get all of the possible vaccines against all the possible illnesses and be stronger than the emperor of China, the Russia, or the emperor of the Europeans. Didn't have emperors. So you be stronger than the strongest dictators and the smartest people in the past. Some people can survive infections because they have a strong immune system. They keep moving, they keep doing the treatments, the yoga, the diet ones, the sauna ones. They go for a walk, they drink a tea, they get a special diet. In the past, there were many people who survived this by just a good diets and a good lifestyle. Today we have vaccines and we should use them. So consider adult revaccination for yourself, and then talk about this to other adult people. And also the vaccination of children is like a universally accepted topic, but the vaccination of adults, it's kind of a fringe topic that people don't talk about. They talk all of the possible stuff, but not the vaccination for adults. And if I buy these vaccines in the pharmacy, they tell me, you're vaccinating your kids. Yes, prevention is very important. Yeah, it never occurs to them that adult revaccination every 20 years is a thing. It just somehow people think the vaccination is only for children. No, it's for everybody. It's for everybody who wants to revaccinate, increase the immunity level. Look, if you get the 3 vaccines, your probability of immunity is around 95, 96, 97%. If you get the 4, it's about 99%. So even if you got all the vaccines, it means you miss the 3% extra immunity. So go for it. Go for the vaccines. Take a weekend off. Inject yourself with some vaccine. Have fun. Relax. Share your thoughts in comments. Be nice to other people. Share the information, your experience with vaccination. Help others with information that you have in your life. Like remember how you get in. Maybe you live in some country where you get the vaccination, which was more interesting than in other places. Share your experience with vaccination from the childhood or from the adulthood. Share your story in the comments. Thank you for supporting the Creative Commons movement. Have fun and stay healthy. Let's vaccinate some more, inject some more into the muscle. Straight. Let's see. Yes. Oi. I got the nerve in here a little bit further away. Yes. Like that is better. There's a little bit of slight pressure. Muscle has to be relaxed. If the muscle is relaxed, then the liquid flows better into the muscle. if it's like tense, then it doesn't flow that well and it's like stiffens up, and the pain comes from this stiffness. Okay, let's pull the syringe a little bit out, and so I can inject into different layers of the muscle. Yeah, there's like a sensation of too much liquid inside. Oh, now you see it's twitching. The muscle is twitching. Interesting. Sometimes the muscle twitches. Oh no, I got the vein. Got some small vein, that's why it switches. Interesting. Well, vaccination is still better than no vaccination. So that muscle on the other side was a bit better. The upper one and the side one, there was a vein. Like the top one, straight from the top, marking in between the veins. On this side there was some twitching. I think here just from the top is better. Can recommend. Another adult doing vaccination. Yes. A bit more into the muscle. Yes, this adult is not sure.
No.
Come on.
Que me he clavado demasiado.